everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about A Mirror Mended by Alex E. Hara. Love it. Surprise, surprise. So this is the sequel to a Spindle Splintered. Try saying that 5 times real fast. And it continues to follow Zinnia. If you read the last book, you know she's going to continue to traverse the multiverse of fairy tales. Mainly because, well, partly because she loves fairy tales and she likes subverting the fairy tales and helping everyone achieve their, happily ever after. But also, what happened was the clock on her life reset, When she goes into another multiverse, her symptoms, her sickness, it stops. So when she comes back home, it resets and she gets another 21 years. So I want to say it's kind of like an addiction for her. But it's really interesting how this story starts. And I really do think it... First, I love her dedication because it does speak of the narrative itself to everyone who is doing their best just to live happily. Right? And again, we have the artwork. Amazing. But this is how the story opens, okay? I like a good happily ever after as much as the next girl. But after sitting through 48 different iterations of the same one, 49 if you count my former best friend's wedding, I have to say the shine is wearing off a little. Already, we know this is going to be a completely different story. This is going to be a different Zinnia, Especially because later on, I'm trying to find it's really early on. Here we go. She acknowledges that herself in the mirror is not who she wants to see. She's worn, she's tired, she's exhausted. She looks battle-worn. She looks exhausted. She looks unhappy. But this was supposed to be her happily ever after, right? It was supposed to be her choice of happiness. But what if it's not, right? She's living, right? She's trying to live as happily as she can. But there's a lot going on with her if you think about it. And for me, the way I read it was she's running away. She's running away. She's not really living her life. She's just running into a fairy tale after fairy tale after fairy tale, trying to escape her own fate by investing her life into all these other fairy tales. Yes, all Sleeping Beauty related, but it's not fulfilling her because she's not living her life. She's running away so she doesn't have to live her life. And you get it. As a reader, you understand where she's coming from because, again, if she goes back home, she only has 21 years to live. Again, she was not supposed to live past 21. She got a whole new lease on life. And she doesn't want to squander it, except she is kind of squandering it because she's choosing to run and hide instead of living. She's not living. And that's the problem with this story. And then you see, again, here, she falls through a mirror. Now, who has a handheld mirror that tells them who the fairest of them all is? Well, it's none other than Snow White. She gets sucked into Snow White's tail. And who is she helping? No, not Snow White. She's helping the queen. I just think of Regina from Once Upon a Time. God, I love her. I really do. And that's kind of who I envisioned when I was reading this. I'm like, Regina, get your happy ending. But in any case, she's helping the queen. And what does the queen want? She just wants to escape her fate. She wants to escape her fate. She thought she could be happy. She thought she could be content. But no, she was just running herself. And now together they're running and escaping from different Snow White stories where, again, She's being hunted. Why? Because she's the evil queen. That is who she is. That is her fate. To dance in iron slippers until she dies. Heated iron slippers until she dies. And she doesn't want that. But another thing that's happening here is all this time that Zinnia is running away, she's not paying attention. She's not giving a second thought to the other people around her, you know, her family, her friends who love her dearly. She's kind of ignoring them because, again, she doesn't want to face her reality. She doesn't want to face her life. Isn't it amazing how much, look at that, 144 pages, and Haru was able to cram in so much story and character development and emotion in just 144 pages. It's freaking amazing. I love her. That is a sign of a talented author, in my opinion, to be able to express so much in so little of a time. But, like I was saying, she's not paying attention. She's putting everything on the back burner because she wants to keep running away. But here's the problem. She's blurring the fabric of the universe, of the multiverse, really. Fairy tale elements are popping up in the real world. And real items like her book of her collection of fairy tales are popping up in the fairy tale realm. The lines are getting blurred. Everything is becoming untethered. It's becoming dangerous. I mean, Zinnia is literally breaking the fabric of the multiverse just because she doesn't want to live, because she wants to avoid her reality. Again, you can't blame her. You understand where she's coming from, but you also have to look at the fact that she's not really happy because she's choosing not to live. And that's the problem. She has to choose to live. Everyone gets to choose their happiness. Your happiness is what you make of it. Your happiness is what you make of it. And she has to face the fact. She has to choose what her happiness is. Is it just going to be running into fairy tale after fairy tale after fairy tale? Is that going to be her happiness? Or is it going to be something else? Something real? With its ups and downs and complications and, yes, mortality. She has to just come to these realizations herself, and she does. But what's also great is, remember how Spindle Splintered is subverting on the expectations of classic fairy tales, right? This one continues to do the same thing. But that time, we're looking at the villain. You know, what is the villain here? I mean, the queen doesn't even have a name. She's just a foreign woman with power. That's it. She doesn't even have a name. So again, Haru is using the villain in this case to subvert and dismantle what the original fairy tales are trying to tell you. That, ooh, women with power is bad. Ooh, no, you don't want to be women with power. You want to be the docile princess. You know, if you read classic fairy tales, you know that's exactly what they were doing. Product of their time, you know. A good woman was a woman who was seen and not heard, who did the cooking and the cleaning. You know, I mean, I love cooking and cleaning as much as the next person. I like a happy home. I like a clean home. But I have opinions, and my opinions are as important as anyone else's, I think. But a woman with power, with opinions, who's also a foreigner, that's your villain. And that's also what would happen in classic fairy tales. So now we're kind of dismantling and taking apart what it means to be a villain in a classic fairy tale. Are they really the villain? And also, we're also looking at, oh my god, it's like mind-blowing, everything that goes on here. If you look at, I don't want to spoil it, but what Haru does is she goes into a version of Snow White, and she goes, I want to say it was a Grimm fairy tale version. I remember reading this version in class, and I can't remember if it was Grimm fairy tales or if it was a different rendition of Snow White. She picks up where the story left off. in a very dark and menacing way. And I'm just like, yep, that fits. To be a woman with power means you're a villain in the old fairy tales, classic fairy tales. But Haro is, again, dismantling that. And I like it. I like it. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I think there's so much to unpack here. It's action-packed. It's fast-paced. It's gripping. It keeps you on the edge of your toes. It's unpredictable. And you know what? As someone who loves classic fairy tales, because I do, you know, as twisted and dark as they are, and sexist, I love them. I do. This is excellent as far as retellings go. And again, you're seeing so many different versions of the same fairy tale come to life. Even brief, you're just like, wow, Haro, you have such a great imagination. It's mind-blowing. I can only aspire to be as talented as Haro. That's my new goal in life. Aspire to be as talented. But it was good. It was an excellent story. So, is it any surprise I'm going to give this book 5 out of 5 stars? It's incredibly written. It's so thoughtful. It's amazing. It's amazing. That's all I can say. It is freaking amazing, and I absolutely loved it. So, 5 out of 5 stars. If you want to go ahead and purchase the book, please remember to purchase from your local bookseller, online book retailer. I will provide links in the description below. If money is tight, check out the book from your local library. And on that note, I hope you all continue to support me here by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and sharing it with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.